Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we're going to start the tutorial for a request from one of my subscribers. She wanted an album that was big, but she wanted it with only open pages. She didn't want a bunch of pockets or too many little flips and gadgety things going on. She just wanted it very simple. So the base for this album is going to be very simple. She wanted it just so she could come in and basically put her pictures down. So as you can see here, she'll be able to get, a couple going this way, that way. And if she cuts them down, she can get them even more on there. But so she wanted something. She said that when she shows her other albums to people, they get confused. So she wanted something just basic. So we're going to start with a basic album just for her. Now, after I get the base done for this, before I carry on to decorate and stuff, I'm going to be beefing this up for a beach album for my daughter. So we're going to give a basic one for her so she can have what she wants. And then I'm also going to use one of these for my daughter. And hers is actually cream colored. It's already built. It's off to the side. So, but we're going to start with this. And the basic for this album is all 4 pages are the same. Front and back. Keep it simple, right? So your things are going to flip to your left here. And then this is going to flip again. And then it's going to flip to the right. And it's going to flip again. Nice and simple. Huge layout. Now this album used 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And I just happened to use the American Crafts 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And I purchased this at Joann's. And they do run it on sale when they run their paper on sale. So I order it because they do not carry it in their stores. So I ordered online and usually get free shipping or discounted shipping. So that is what I use for this. So then I have very little waste. And in addition to that, I use 12 by 12 American Craft cardstock, same weight. Everything else, it's just 12 by 12. And that can also be purchased at Joann's. Now I went ahead and I cut down all my cardstock for my pages to 10 inches high. So I have a stack of 1-inch strips. These will be put in my scrap bin and they will be used for future hinges. You can always have a stack of hinges ready to go. It's nice. All right. So again, this measures 10 inches high by, it says 10, whoops, I got pasted wrong. Should be 8.5. Yep, 8.5 wide. So for each tunnel, we need, I'm going to set these aside now because we don't need this. And we're going to have 3 already built. This is a 4-page so I have 3 already completely built, and we're going to build 1 together. So to start, we're going to take one 8.5 by 11. You're going to score that at a 1/2 inch on each 11-inch edge. And then we're going to burnish. Okay. And then you're going to take another 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you're going to cut that down to 10 inches high. So then we're going to just glue this on here. I do have double-sided tape on my table, but I frequently use just my art glitter glue. I prefer the art glitter glue or a glue to tape for longevity. Not that tapes aren't good. If you have a favorite way, you are more than welcome to do what you like to do. I am just a glue person. I do use tape every once in a while, but I prefer my glue. I'm going to line up my bottom left-hand corner here so it meets this paper, keeps it nice and straight. Along that top edge there. There we go. Let's see. And we're going to put our glue on this. Just like that. And like I said, this is going to be a beach album. Alright, so let's line up our other corner here. Looks like it's just a bit. I think we'll be alright. Just like that. There we go. Perfect. So there is our tunnel. We want to reach in there, make sure that no glue is holding anything shut. You can see that I've got a little bump in there. There we go. All right. So on these tunnels here, find my pin. Already, there we go. I'm like, already, I've lost my pen. So pre-cut my pages here. So for each side, you're going to need 4 sheets of 8.5 by 11. 2 of those sheets are going to be cut at 8 3/8 wide, okay, and 10 inches high. So they're all cut down to 10 inches high. Sheets are going to be cut to 3/8 inches wide. On those, I have marked one R top for right top, and I have marked one of those at left flip. So I have an L flip and an R top. Okay. My next piece, again, everything is 10 inches high, is 8 1/4 inches wide. This one is marked R flip, so that is my right flip. I have a right top, 8 3/8 wide, and I have a right flip, 8 1/4 wide. All right. Our other piece is a full sheet, so it's 8 1/2 wide, and then cut down to 10 inches high. That is marked left top. And the reason these graduate down is so they fold nicely together and they don't rub and conflict with each other. Okay, so you are going to need, for each tunnel, 4 sheets for each side, so 8 sheets total. Okay, and like I said, all are cut the same. So you need all of them cut down to 10 inches high. Then you're going to cut 2 at 8 3/8 wide, and you're going to cut 1 at 8 1/4 inches wide, and you're going to leave the other one at 8 1/2 inches. Okay, so we're going to need some hinges for these. So I have some scrap pieces here that are ready to trim down. So let's go ahead and use those. And those have to be 10 inches high. So I'm going to make sure I got my right side here that is 10 inches high. And I do. So I want my 10 inches high. I need 2 1-inch strips for, here, let's use up these scraps here first. Here, I'm just going to cut these 2 down to 10 inches high. These are just little scraps from my cover. I did use the 12 by 12 paper for my hinges because I get more out of it. Okay, you can use your 8.5 by 11, that's fine. I just use my 12 by 12s. So I'm going to come in here, and I know I need, how long is this one? This is 2 inches, so I'm going to cut this down at 1 inch. And I'm going to get 2 hinges out of each one here, okay? So I have 2 1-inch strips, 2 1-inch strips, and that's all I need for this this page. So altogether you are going to need 8 hinges cut down 1 1/4 inches by 10 inches. You're going to need 8 hinges cut at 1 1/8 by 10 inches. And you are going to need 16 1-inch strips for 1 inch by 10 inch. Yes. So 16 1 inch by 10 inch, 8 1 1/8 by 10 inch, 8 1 1/4 by 10-inch hinges. Okay, so we got our 4 that way, and then I don't want to cut that. Let's see what else we got here. I got some more scraps here. Here's another scraps. So this one you cut down again to 10 inches. And then we're going to do, I need 2 1 1/8 inch. So I'm going to line that right up like that. 1. I feel like I didn't get that right. Let's do it this way. 1 1/8. Alright. 1 1/8. So I need 2 of those. That's too skinny for anything. Then let's go ahead, and this is another scrap piece here, down 10 inches. Cut off that rough edge, and then 1 1/8. So I got 2 1/8, so I need 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Alright. And then I need another 1 1/4. So let's take our one here. We know that's 10 inches high. Check. And I need another 1 1/4 inch. And then we should have all we need, I believe. Okay. Get my scoreboard here. Let's bring this on in. Let's go ahead and score our 1-inch pieces at 1/2 inch. And actually I want to do these upside down because I want my textured part facing out. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, whoops. Why my trimmer is cutting so crooked lately. I'm not sure what is going on. I have to check, see what's going on. Something's not right. These are just hinges, so I'm not too worried about it, but goodness gracious. All right, so now this is my 1 1/4, so I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. Okay. Next, the 1 1/4, score at 1/2 inch and 3/4. Okay. On our 1 1/8, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and 5/8. So we're going to have an 1/8 inch gusset on the 1 1/8, and we're going to have a 1/4 inch gusset on 1 1/4. So again, 1 1/8 inch, we're going to go 1/2 inch and 5/8. That is all we need there. And those gussets are going to give us what we need to give us a little bit of room in our book. Okay, so now how I do mine is I try to start with my furthest one away and gently press. We don't want to be too rough. We don't want to break those fibers too much for this project. So there is our little 1/8 inch gusset there. Again, you start with the one furthest away from me. Gently fold that. There we go. Again, furthest away from me. I just kind of use my nails to kind of press it. I don't have really long nails. I just want to do it gently. Otherwise your paper starts getting all warpy look. And if you run into a spot that resists a little, go down to that end and help it along. Don't try to force it. too much. Okay, so that, and again, okay. There we go. So we're going to come in with our tunnel, and we're going to start, and it doesn't matter if you start right or left, but let's go ahead and start with the right side. So for our right side, we need the 1/8 inch gusset. I'm going to flatten that down, so I'm only working with that 1/2 inch edge there. And you can use taper glue, and I am going to use my glue. Okay. And on that right hand edge there, right along that edge. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and flatten this down. Now, you can do this two ways. You can bring your gusset back out so you only have that 1/2 inch section to work with. Put your glue down, or leave it flat and use that gusset score line as a guide. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take my right top. I'm going to add glue to just that 1/2 inch edge. I can see that score line, so I don't want to put glue on my score line. Okay, and then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to use that score line and stay just to the left of it. Don't want to interfere with it. Match up my top and bottom here best I can. Go like that. Looks good. All right, and just gently press it down. Make sure that it's adhered. Let's do this a little. There we go. All right. Perfect. So now I'm going to open it up. This is my tunnel here in the center. It's my right hand panel. I'm going to take just one of my 1/2 inch hinges, and I'm going to put glue on that. There we go. And then we're just going to put that on our right hand side. It's a little long. It's not going to matter. We'll trim that off. Like I said, I've been having trouble with my trimmer for some reason, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to check into that because I have other trimmers. Just trim that off a little bit. And then I'm going to come in with my 8 1/4 inch wide right flip, and I'm going to attach that right to this other 1 inch side. And it looks like I might need to turn on my light. I have 2 good sized windows in my craft room, but sometimes I still don't get enough light. So I'm going to line that up. There we go. Just kind of like that. What my cutters. Alright, I'm not sure if the paper I started out with was crooked or what's going on. Maybe that's it. I've had that before. I bought a pack of paper from Hobby Lobby one time and had a heck of a time, and then figured out that they were all came to me crooked, so it was giving me fits. Alright, so there's our right flip. I'm going to slide this to the side. We're going to grab our hinge that has the 1/4 inch gusset. Again, I'm going to flatten that down so I have just a 1/2 inch of that showing. Okay. Alright, and we're going to place that on our left hand side, right along that edge. Okay. Again, I'm not going to put my gusset back. I'm going to use line as my guide. I'm going to go with my left top, which is 8 1/2 inches wide by 10 inches high, like all the others. Put my glue on that 1/2 inch edge. Go. And then place my paper on there without going over that score line there. Like that. See again. Yep, I'm guessing that these papers were off a little bit because I'm getting the same amount from every one, and I haven't had that much trouble with my trimmer before. I mean, consistently. All right, so we're going to open our left-hand panel. We're going to take another one of our 1/2 inch strips. And that is just crazy. So I have a feeling I got a pack of paper that was just started out crooked. All right. But I will check my trimmer just in case. And I just flipped over my part that it cuts into too, so I know it's not that. And I'm going to put my glue on the 1/2 inch edge here. Okay. Grab my left flip, which is 8 3/8 by 10 inches. Put that on there. Line it up nice. There we go. Perfect. All right, so there's the left flip. Right flip. Right goes in first because it has a smaller gusset, and then that side one. Let's go ahead and continue with side 2. Again, right side, 1/8 inch gusset. Glue on the 1/2 inch. So it goes together quite nice. And then I told her too, because I said, well, in order to get your decorations and stuff, you just have to add a little bit more bling and stuff to your pages instead of in the other aspects of it, of making it fancy. You can just add your extra little cutouts or tags or ephemera onto your pages after you get your pictures on, or if she wants to do that. All right, nice and flat. Grab my next set. Go. Maybe I will. There we go. Right top, 8 3/8 wide. Okay. And I'm going to use that gusset there. Watch so I don't cross over it. Looks good. There we go. Open that out. Open. Make sure everything's glued down good. Grab a 1/2 inch. I shouldn't say 1/2 inch. It's just the 1 inch hinge. We're going to glue on the 1/2 inch. Now you can adjust these too if you want bigger gussets or whatever to make more room. You can. All right, so then down there, just like so. There we go. I glue on my 1/2 inch edge. All right, my right flip is 8 1/4 inches wide. Down here like so. Get to the edge, not past the edge. There we go. Perfect. Open. All right. We'll move that to the side. Grab our other 1/4 inch gusset one. So once you get doing it, and like I went through and I cut everything ahead of time that I wanted to show you how to cut these. So cut everything ahead and just stacked it because it's all the same pretty much. So with the pages all being the same, I just cut a page and then stacked it, and then cut another page and stacked it the other direction, and so on and so forth. So I had them all going. All right. This gets our left top, which is 8.5 inches wide. Just like that. Perfect. Whoops. That little something going on there. There we go. There. Okay. That's good. I'm going to close my right side so I can slide this over. Grab my last 1/2 inch, or I didn't get my last 1 inch hinge, and we're going to go ahead and put that on. There we go. All right. Attach that to my page here. Perfect. All right. You can see a little overhang there. And I'm going to put the glue on this. There we go. And I hope she likes this style for her. I hope it works better than what she's been doing. She was just more concerned of when people go look through their albums, they get confused. She wanted something simple for them to look through. So there we go. That is our page all done. Okay. And our tunnel's right there. Okay, perfect, right? All right, so that's 4 of them all together. Now, for the cover, I have cut 2 medium weight chipboards down to 9 3/4 by 10.5 inches high, and I cut 1 piece 3 inches by 10.5 inches high. Okay, so I got 1 12 by 12 piece cut down 9 inches wide by 12 inches. I got 1 full 12 by 12 sheet, and I've got 1 5 by 12 sheet. And the reason this one is 9 is because I don't want, with a full 12-inch piece, if I put this on there and allow for my 1 inch, see how close I am to where my seam is? And that's going to get a lot of wear and tear. So I cut it down so that when I put my thing on here, this one will get attached to the top here. And I'm going to leave it down just a little bit so you can see. So that when I put this on, I'm into this a ways, okay? So I'm a little ways away from that. And then my next piece, of course, would be the little one. And then again, I will be away from that seam there when I put my other chipboard on. So what I'm going to do here is I've taken my ruler and I've laid it out, and I have a see-through ruler. You can do this with a regular ruler. It's just a little harder. I can see my 1 inch line here. I then took a pencil and just drew that 1/2 inch out there. So I couldn't see my 1 inch, I could see my 1/2 inch line. And then I did the same on the second one. Put that 1/2 inch there, and then just ran my pencil down, because I'm going to use glue to glue these together. If you're using tape, you can just put your tape along there, peel it off, and stick it down. So this way I know exactly where my glue has to be and where my paper has to line up to be approximately 1/2 inch over there. Okay? You go further if you want, whatever you like. 1/2 inch is usually sufficient. But now I got a mark that I can use to keep my paper pretty level. There we go. Okay. Now this is one-sided textured cardstock, so this is actually going to be the front of my cover, so this will get flipped over when we're done here. All right. I have just found that with some tapes, not all, and I'm not going to say all because I haven't used every brand out there, but I have pulled my projects out and the tape has dried out and my book is falling apart. I don't want that for anybody's album that I'm creating for them. You go to the trouble of building it, and so that's why I prefer to use glue. But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to bash anybody's preference. It is what it is. Okay, so this is my back side. I'm going to use my ruler again. You can come in with a ruler and you can mark it off at 1 inch, draw a line. I'll show you. So you don't have to have the ruler in your way. You can just go along the edge, mark it at 1 inch, and you have a mark for yourself. And you can do the same on this edge if you'd like. Just bring your ruler up there. And if you don't have a see-through ruler, you can use a regular ruler. It's just a little harder. Okay, so I've got markings there, right? But sometimes I like to use my ruler as a guide to bump up against. So I'm going to put my ruler back down there. And for all my pieces, I'm going to put a little score tape on. And what that score tape is going to do is hold it in place until my glue dries. So see, I do use tape, but I use it sparingly. And then this way too, I don't have to have a bunch of different products. And I can just glue this, absolutely. But if you want to, you know, and you can just tape it if you have that much faith in score tape. You can just tape it. But I'm just going to use it as a hold point for my chipboard while it dries. Okay? Let's go ahead and just get all of these off here all at once. We'll just be careful so we don't sit anything on them. Oops. You do this enough and your little underneath your nail gets a little tender after a bit. All right, so there we go. And I'm just going to kind of carefully set these aside so that I'm going to start with this one. Now I'm going to remove my needle cover there just so I can get a good amount of glue all at once. And I don't have to worry about a good amount of glue there. All right, I'm going to put this right back in there. No harm done. I'm going to double check my ruler here, make sure it's laid down. Okay. I'm going to hold on to that with my fingers. I'm going to bring it in to the 1 inch mark here. Lay it down. Now because of that glue, I can manipulate it a little bit. Okay. The tape, once it's down, it's down. I'm going to give it a good press here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over a second. And kind of give it a little rub here. Just like so. Smooth everything out. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's flip it back over. Put our ruler back down. Now, I'm going to line this up. 1 inch. But I also want my gusset in between these to be about 1/4 of an inch. I have glued 4 pieces of scrap chipboard together. I like them a little longer so I have something to grab into. I can line this up there in addition to watching my ruler to make sure I'm lined up good. So let's go ahead and grab our 3-inch piece. I'm going to drop some glue on here. Okay, there we go. That should be plenty. All right. So I'm going to get my flat edge here. Grab a hold of this. I'm going to hold my ruler again, slide this in to 1/4 of an inch there. That's good. Lined up. Pull that. There we go. Okay, again, just going to flip this over gently. And give it a rub. Just so that can squeeze out that glue around there. Okay. Back. Get down there. Oops. It's the bad thing about white paper is everything shows up on it. So, all right. Got my ruler lined up again. Got my flat side here because they have different levels. And in that area there. Okay, some glue. Here we go. Okay, flat edge. Oops, let me line up my 1/4 of an inch there. There we go. Yes. Holding my ruler. Oops. Slide that up there just a little bit. Okay. That's the nice thing about glue is it does allow you to slide for a few seconds. Our glitter glue dries pretty quick, so you have a few seconds. And then along this edge, I've got 1 inch. Okay. Perfect. One more time. See on the top here, I've only got like a smaller amount. I could have split this up. I should have split it up 3/4 of an inch on the bottom, but I'll be fine. So when you do yours, just remember that about 3/4 of an inch on the bottom there. And then you'll have about 3/4 of an inch on the top. It'll all hold. I'm not worried about it. You can see in here where the glue is still wet, so I'm going to let that continue to dry. There we go. All right. Take a drink of water here a second. Excuse me. It's hot in Michigan right now, so. All right. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to start breaking those fibers gently. I'm going to do that kind of all the way around. Like that. Flip it. Start doing the same. Okay. Right. I'm going to take my little tool here and just kind of flatten that up against there. Like that. Get it to bend a little bit. Same on this side. Like that. Bend it. Like I said, you're not going to have as much on this edge, but that's fine. I've done albums that are 1/2 inch on each side, and they seem to be fine because we're going to be gluing other cardstock to that too, so we'll be all right. All right. Now, by folding this, we're going to get our corners marked pretty good here, so when we cut them, we see what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to come in here. Oops, I got to move that. And I'm going to, on just a slight angle, come in, but I'm going to stop about 1/16 of an inch from my corner there. So just on a gentle angle. You can always cut more off. And I'm just going to come in and stop a little ways from that corner, just like that. Perfect. Now you can do it. There's a bunch of different ways out there. And whatever works for you. If you have another method that works for you, then use that. But I'm just going to do it gentle. Have a little bit in there. We can always tuck that away. So just like that. Okay. Perfect. All right. Now, I do like to use a little tape for this while my glue's drying. So I'm just going to run some tape along here. I probably won't on the top edge because that's a little thin there. So just on these. And I've got it in the middle. It doesn't, you can run along the edge, but if I put it in the middle, then I know my glue is going to hold on the top and the bottom of that. So, and if I have, I could probably use a little bit thinner tape for the. Let me see what I got here. Let's see here. We should have some thinner tape. There we go. I'll just use a little bit of this, and that'll still give me glue room. Okay, so this is about 1/8 inch wide. Oopsie. There we go. I could use this on all of it too. All right. I like to make sure my tape is down good. Try not to get any of my fingers on it because your fingers, even though their hands might be freshly washed, we still have oils on our hands, and that can interfere with our tape too. So, all right. I'm going to run my glue right along that edge of that chipboard here, and that will start softening that edge up nicely for bending. Okay, just like so. And then I'm going to run a squiggle along the whole edge there. Just like so. All right, I start in the middle. I'm going to start just kind of holding and pressing. Okay. Once it starts grabbing, I'll be good. Okay. All right. Make sure that grabs nice. Okay. Perfect. Same here. Nice amount. Whoa. See? Whoopsie, whoopsie. Just not put it down there far enough. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's try again. There we go. Didn't put it back on far enough, I guess. All right. All right. Again. Something a little hard in there. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring that in just in case there's any little corners there. just to make sure. Over here too, same thing, just bring that in a little bit. All right, I'm going to need some glue on these here, just like that. On here. That top edge. There we go. Around. All right. There we go. Okie dokie. All right. Let's see this here. Make sure they're steady, right? I'm going to take this rounded edge of my little tool here. Now this is a, if you watch my videos, you probably know, but for those who haven't watched any of my videos, this is an old slice tool. It's similar to what you would buy to scrape your pans now, but the slice tool was the original, like, die cutting machine that used the little cartridges and stuff, and it used a glass plates, and this was the scraper for those glass plates. Okay. All right. Let me wipe this down a little bit. I'm getting glued with these. There we go. I don't want to get my book all yucky. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and put in our hinge system. So I have cut a piece of 12 by 12, and it's cut at 12 inches wide by 9 15/16 inch high. Okay. So we're going to start, mine's already marked, we're going to start by scoring at 2 inches, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 4, 4 3/4, 5 1/2, 6, 6 3/4, 7 1/2, 8, 8 3/4, and 9 1/2. That leaves us a 2-inch side on this side and a 2 1/2-inch side on this side. And that's not going to matter. That other 1/2-inch body is all going to get covered. These two are going to get covered with our extra cardstock anyway, so that does not matter. Okay. All right. So I've already gone ahead and burnished all of these. And what I do is I go through and I pick up all my 3/4 inch ones, okay? And I put those in like that. So 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, with a 1/2-inch gusset in between each one. In addition to that, I've taken it and I've folded my 3/4 over. I came in, laid out my 1/2-inch mark, and drew a pencil line. So I want my hinge to come onto my page 1/2 inch, and then I'll have a 1/4 inch of room to help my book stay flatter. So I've done that to each 3/4 inch edge. Okay, went in, put my ruler on a 1/2 inch, marked it with my pencil. Then when I got all 4 done, I reversed it and did it again to the other side of my 3/4 inch pieces, as you can see. See, now I've got a little pencil line, and that is because I'm going to use glue to attach my pages, and I don't, I want to be able to see where to stop at. So I have my 1/4 inch left, okay? I'm going to go ahead and glue my 3/4 inches together. Okay. There we go. That's 3/4 of an inch. Just like that. Oop. Got my next 3/4 of an inch. Just like that. Push it together. And we're just going to keep on going. And I don't care if it goes a little on the other half of the 3/4 of an inch. That does. Whoops. What did I do here? What did I do? Oh, there I go. All right. Just look kind of weird. Yes, that's right. It's just looking weird. Looking weird. For some reason. There we go. All right. I can see the 3/4 of an inch marks. It was just looking weird when I folded it. I don't want to get in too much of a hurry and then glue down the wrong thing. There we go. And that's why I'm folding it like that. This one, yeah. Right there. 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. All right, so I'm just going to give these a nice press this way. Nice press this way. All right. Bring your book back in here a second. All right, so our hinge is going to lay in here like that. So I believe I want, let me make sure here, it's 1/4 of an inch. It's going to be just a smidge over 1/4 of an inch, I believe. So let me draw a pencil line here, just so I know where to lay it. Okay. And then let me double check my top part there. Oh, it might be, yeah, let's split the difference there. Okay. Yeah, if I lay it right on that line, I'm going to be good. All right. Now my centers, this is 3 inches. So I'm going to mark that at 1.5. So I'm going to make a little mark down here. Okay. And I'll erase it. And then I'm going to make a little mark up here at 1.5 that I can erase. Okay. That way when I put this down, I can line that center up right there. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of make a little tick mark on these about in the center of that so I know where I'm lined up at. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Looking good, looking good. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape on this to help hold while it dries. And then I'm just going to put glue on the other pieces. Okay. And just more on this, close to this, where it's going to bend and stuff is where I want it. Just kind of holds good while it dries. I don't need to go too far out. Okay. Nice and easy there. We go. Okay. And that'll hold while the tape dries. I mean, the tape will hold while the glue dries. How about that? I haven't been made a video in a while. You'll always feel kind of, I'm going to say, discombobulated. All right. So let's go ahead and throw our glue on this. Remove that cap again. I'm just going to try to not put as much on. This thing's heavy. Here we go. Right. This. Well, a good amount, so we don't want to soak it. But this will have plenty of time to dry too before we get too much. Right, here we go. Trying to see if it tells me how long I've been going, but it doesn't. All right. So let's go ahead and get this. And I'm going to grab a hold of my center panels there, I think. My center one, yes. I've got my line down there. I'm going to line my little tick mark up there. My little tick mark up there. Looks like I'm about even. Gently press that center. Gently press the next one. And this one. There we go. I see my tape is sticking out there a little bit, which is no big deal. There. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of run this edge along there a little bit. Like that. Get that glue spread out there a little bit. Along here, just like that. And that tape sticking out there is not going to hurt anything because it's going to be covered by the other pieces of paper. So there we go. Let's just flatten those just like that for right now. All right, so that's where we're going to end today, because I want this to dry up good before I start messing with it. So we're going to end here, and then we'll go ahead. The next video we'll put our additional white paper on these two sides. We're going to attach our pages to our hinge, and then we will see what else we can get done that next time. If you are not a subscriber to my channel, I would appreciate it if you did so at this time. You just hit the subscribe button down in the right hand corner. A bell will pop up. Go ahead and hit that bell and you'll be notified each time I put up a new video. And I think that's about it for today. So as usual, I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.